Okay guys, welcome back. I don't know what happened that we blacked out there. Something happened and it's going to do it again, all because I'm moving my camera. I'm hoping that you all can see what's going on. And I'm going to go back to the beginning here. I'm going to be sculpting. I'm going to use Magic Sculpt, the white resin, and the hardener. Alright, I have a little container with some alcohol. I just used 50%. It's not a big deal. Put that in here. I'm going to use that for smoothing and cleaning my tools. I have this is a piece of plexiglass basically. It is used for, it's like for making quilt squares or something like that. And what I did was, I just showed in the last video before my camera died, I rolled this out using a dowel rod, and then I have talc, actual talc, okay, that's on my board here, and then that way it doesn't stick to anything. Alright, so I'm going to move that out of the way. This is my horse that I'm going to put it on. Alright, so let me move this stuff out of the way. I'm going to put a towel for my horse to sit on. If it doesn't raise him up too high, let's see how that goes. It might make him raise him up too high. No, I think we'll be good. Okay, I think we'll be good. Alright, and then I'll also show you, this is what I used to make this. This is my template, and I just laid it on top, and I used my handy dandy pizza cutter to cut it out. And it's real nice and clean, works perfectly. And then I also made a template of the saddle that's going to go on, but the first thing we have to do is put on his saddle blanket or saddle pad, whatever you want to call it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to kind of look at where this is going to sit. Lift this up just a little. There we go. Alright, we're going to see where this is going to sit. You can see where I've kind of done a quickie drawing. Alright, and see that that's going to fit on there pretty well. Okay? Okay, so there we go. Now I'm going to put some alcohol under here because this has a talc on it, so that makes it not stick. So we're going to put a little alcohol on it so that it all sticks to him well. And here we go. We're just going to lay this on now, kind of line it up where I want it to go. And there it is. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to give it a little bit of a pat and a smoosh, and we'll get it on there. And now we're going to use some rubbing alcohol to come in and smooth it. Okay, so that's what we've got going on right there. Now, next what I want to do is I'm going to make some edging on this, because then I want like piping edging that I can go around. You can see that. So I can go around. Now, this is something that I don't really like. See this, how this line is so deep here? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick that up carefully, pull it out of the way. Then I'm going to take some of this other clay, and I'm going to fill this area in, because I don't like how it's doing that. Okay, so that it lays a flatter in that crease, because I don't like it doing that. Might not matter to some people, but I don't like it. So I'm going to do this, and then that will give this something harder, because like right down here there really wasn't anything hanging there. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll just put some extra in there just to give that something to lay on. And then I'm going to put a little bit more. I just want to make sure that this is going to be nice and smooth under that spot. go. It's all about just pushing hard and smoothing with your fingers. Everybody always asks me how I get all my edges so smooth. Don't stop smoothing. Just keep going. Smoothing it right over the edge. And you can see how I pushed it right here. This is the most important part. You don't want that, see that line where the two came together, right? So you just want to kind of keep pushing that until you don't see that line anymore. All right, so I think that looks pretty good. Now, hopefully it's good, because once I pull this down, it might, there we go. All right, there. Now I don't have that line from his belly there. I don't want that. Just a little bit of one is okay, but I don't want that big, huge divot. And then I can also make some of this a little bit thinner if it's doing something I don't like. But there we go with that. Okay, now if I want to go along the edge and make a piping line, something like that, where I'm going to just, sure, let me see. This is my favorite tool. This is actually a dental tool. I don't know who all of you have seen these before. Okay, but it's really cool, and you just, it's nice and squishy, and makes a really nice fine line. Okay, I know it keeps going in and out. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of my alcohol on the tip, and then I'm going to lay it down, and I'm just going to pull it along, making that line that I want all the way along. Okay, that's just going to go all the way up. Part of that I think is going to be covered by the saddle and some other things, but that's okay. All right, and then let's see, I'm going to bring it over here, straighten this side out, and then we're going to do the same thing here, and we're just going to make this nice piped looking edge on his saddle blanket. All right, and that's going to go right up to there, and then we're going to do it, let's see, across here. Nice and slow, not too hard of a push. We just want to make that line, because then that's just going to give us a nice area to go ahead and paint a different color. Make something pretty on there. Okay, I'm just going to pull that into this one. And there we go. All right, so there's his saddle blanket. You can see that now. Okay, so, and then, so that's my one tool. My other tool that I like, let's see, I have lots of tools. I should have pulled them all out before we started. Oh, I already did. I need to buy a new one of these. It's pretty beat up, but this is my favorite one. This one I'll use also not only for making lines like that, but also to just kind of push this back up, if when I pushed on it, to put my line in it, if I made it kind of fall down a little bit, pushed it out of shape. So that is right there. Same thing back here. We just kind of give it a little push like that. Clean this up here, because then otherwise that's something I'm going to have to clean off the horse later. Always try to get your epoxy cleaned off the horse also as best as you can, because otherwise it just, you're making more work for yourself later. Okay, so there's that. So now we have his blanket on this side. Okay, so there's his blanket, and there we go. So that's good there. He's also, you can see his breast collar comes around. It's going to attach to the saddle, and then it comes around here, and then this is going to be fringe. All right, and then this is his bridle, and then this comes across here, and then he'll have a bit in his mouth. So that's that. The other one, thing that this one showed that I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to give it just a little, I think I can do it. We're going to, this side of the blanket had a roll back in it. Let me show you what I mean. You look at my template, and then if we fold this back, then it's like the wind has pulled it back. Okay, so I want to kind of do that here. To help me out with that, I'm going to put a little bit of clay of my epoxy. I'm going to put a little epoxy kind of in that area so it has something to lay against, because otherwise it's just going to completely fold over flat. That's not what I want. So let's see what we can do here. Alright, we're going to use this tool, put some alcohol on it, and I'm going to try to pick up this edge without ruining it. I'm doing a video. Okay. Might not need to use that. I was thinking I did, but I might not need to. Ooh, that looks ugly. Alright, let's get a paintbrush. I use just about anything. I'm going to use this paintbrush. And I'm just going to clean this up a little bit because it was down here on the side, so it's all ugly now. But we're just going to pull that back, and that's going to fold back like that. I think we're good there, actually. I think we're okay. I also keep around Q-tips and these little things, these little micro, little fuzzy tip things. So I have these around all the time, and I use the Q-tips a lot to kind of clean up areas. But I think this looks, I'll show you here in a second, that this side is just kind of pulled back like that. Okay. And I do need to make this same design on this side over here. Kind of sucks it because I got the, stop puppies, all that black, but it's okay. Alright, so now that's kind of rolled back like in the original. There we go. Just kind of play with it a little bit, get it to look like what you want it to look like. And now you can see that it's kind of rolled back like the wind is blowing it or whatever. And you just kind of play with it until you think it looks like what it would look like normally. Okay, so there's that. Alrighty, now I think what I'll do next is I'm going to roll some of this out, and I'm going to use it to make this piece of his bridle. Alright, so we're going to set him aside. And we're going to bring our template piece thing down that has the talc powder on it again. And we're going to work our epoxy. I want to get it heated up a little bit because it's pretty hard. It's not very soft. So we want to get it softened up a little bit. Alright, and so I'm going to lay that down. I'm going to get some of my talc on it so it doesn't stick. I'm going to use my plastic dowel that also has some of the talc on it, and we're just going to roll it until we get about the length that we think we need. Alright, we're going to use our pizza cutter, and we're going to cut it off. Going to get that piece, a little bit of alcohol on it, get that back in there, because like I said in the beginning of the video, the talc will dry it out. So I want to keep that moistened a little bit. So I have this piece right here. Okay, I'm going to move that out of the way. We're going to bring our horse back over, and we're going to see how thick of a piece do we need for his bridle. It's probably a little too thick. Yeah, that's too bulky. I think I'm going to go with like the more this thickness up here. So I'm going to set him down again. I'm going to bring my board back down, and I am going to cut this about that thick, because I like that thickness there. Put this back in with this. Keep it nice and squishy. Pick this up. Put some dirty towel down. I'm going to grab this guy. Alright, now, just like I had to do with this half of the saddle pad, I'm going to have to put, once I figure out, and if I give a little pull to this, it'll make it a little narrower as well. And I can always trim it once I get it on him. But this is what we're going to do. Alright, yeah, I like that thickness. I think that's good. And then it's going to go right up here. So, let's see. We're going to go about, well, it can go right over to the top of his head. So, let's go ahead. We're going to get some alcohol on the back side. Put some alcohol on the model. And clean that up a little bit. And we're going to put this down right where we want it to go, right about where the bit's going to be in his mouth. Okay, and we're going to get some alcohol on our fingers, and we're going to pull that right up over his head like that, and there we go. Alright, that's going to go right there like that, and then I'm going to come up here to the top of his head, and I'm just going to pinch that off. And then when I do the other side of his head, I'll just mush that down a little bit. And then that'll continue over the other side of his head. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use my fingernail. That's kind of where the bit's going to sit. Alright. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use this tool again. Get some alcohol. And because I just kind of squished it down, I'm going to go along the sides. Make sure that I'm happy with how that's all laying there. Alright. Okay. And then I'm going to go back to my dental tool. And I'm going to do the same thing I did on the blanket. I'm going to put this like piping line. And the good part about that is that's already giving you an area to paint a different color. You know, if you want to do a different color there, or gold edging, or whatever you want to do. So I even continued it right here, which this I'll touch up as this dries more, because it's still too wet. Okay, to get that folded back how I want it. Alright, so now we're going to come to the side of the bridle, the cheek piece of his bridle, and we're going to do the exact same thing, and we're just going to pull slowly. Keep it the same all the way down as best you can. And we're going to pull it all the way over like that. And then we're going to do, let's see, yep. And then we're going to do this side. And I like doing this because it gives me like I said, it gives me an area to paint a different color. And you have options too. You can make like little skinny worms. I do that as well. You can make like the little skinny, you know, wormy things and use that. And I can just put a small little wormy guy down the side and do it that way. But, and I don't do everything the exact same way all the time. Kind of whatever I feel like doing that time. So, I'm using some of my water just to smooth it and make sure that all looks good. And then clean my brush, and then I'm going to go back through again like I did with the pad, the saddle blanket, and I'm just going to make sure that I didn't get it pushed out of shape. Keep my edges nice and flat, and there we go. And now he has, I know it's hard to see, but there is an edging there. So now that'll give us a separate color. I need to check my, let's see, real quick, what this guy is going to give me a hard time. Okay, so that goes there. Then we have another piece that's going to run from here up. Okay, so it's going to go from the bit and then up here. So let's go ahead and we're going to lay out another piece about that thickness. We're going to do that again. So we're going to pinch off a piece, make a wormy guy. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to lay this down. We're going to coat it with the talc. We're going to use our plastic dowel, and we're going to roll it out. Okay, and that's about the thickness that I want. Let's move this. And we're going to come back to put our horse down. There he is. Okay. And this one, I think I might just give it a little bit of a stretch. Yeah, I'm still going to have to trim this. It's too wide. I don't want it that wide. We're going to go a little longer, a little narrower. I'm going to break the end of it off. I don't need that. Alright, push that back up. Give me a second. Oopsie. Uh-oh. Sorry about that, guys. Alright, and we're going to lay this one back down again. And we're going to take our pizza cutter and we're going to go just a little bit off. Okay. Where did it go? Oh. Very little bit off. Alright, and I think I like that. I think that's going to work. And then we're going to get rid of our board again. Okay. Now, here we go. So, the original one actually has a little bit of a point to it, so hang on a second here. I'm going to fix that because I want to make this little point thing. So let's do that real quick. I'm going to do just a little bit of a point on this. Okay. Alright. And then we're going to just kind of go across the edges here, see what we got. Alright, now this guy's going to come back down here, and we're going to put some a little bit of alcohol on the back so that it sticks because it has that talc on it. This is going to go right down there where the bit's going to go, and then we're going to pull it right straight up, and it's going to go to here, and we're going to pinch it off. Alright. Then I have a couple different kinds of cutters This one, I need to replace this too. I don't always get them cleaned off as good as I should. Alright, that piece of mane is going to have to come out, but I was going to wait until I did this to decide exactly what I needed to take off. And I'm going to come back up here. Alright, it's got some marks on it. Okay, because this, then we're going to rub it with our finger and some alcohol. Alright. This one, the horse that I'm doing, it actually has a split right here. Okay. So I need to make a split area that's going to go up. Alright. I know it's hard to see. It's hard to see. There we go. This is going to have a split in it right here, so now I have to get underneath these edges and just carefully lift that up, because that's going to get pulled over there. And this side is going to get lifted a little bit. And pulled over that way. Okay, that way. And that way. And then we're just going to put it right back down where it goes. So I'm going to use this one, I think. And we're just going to put this right back down there where it goes. Then what I'm going to do is, after this is all dry, then I'll use one of my tools and I'll take out this part of this mane that needs to leave, where this is going to attach over top of his head. Okay. So how this is split right here, this is going to go over the top. So I'm going to have to remove his mane, but I didn't want to do that until I knew how I was placing this piece. Alright. So now I just have to do some touch up, clean up a little bit here so that that looks good. Yep, there we go. Okay. Then I believe, let me look here at my, this has a line across as well. So we're going to go and we're going to do this too, to this piece for that piped edge, whatever you want to call it. That's what I call it. Pinstriped, piped, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to do this edge. Keep getting our alcohol on our little tool. And then anything I got going on here, sometimes you have to use a Q-tip and come in and hold something up on the edge, because this doesn't touch his face the whole way. And then I can fix that. It's kind of messy there. Okay. Alright, there's that. Not bad. Alright, now I'm going to show you, I have some other tools that I can use to press in to make a design, because let's see, I'm seeing I need a little bit of extra clay under his throat. I'll have to see if I can do that. I might have to wait and do it. Anyway, alright, so there's that. So that's up there. Now, let me look, because I did not pull them out yet. I use all kinds of different things to press down in to the clay, the epoxy. I actually have some leather tools that I like, and I have things that you use like for on a, with Sculpty, you know, the Sculpty stuff you can. So these are leather tools. So you have different designs with the leather tools that you can put down the sides of things, all right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to dunk that in my alcohol, and then I'm going to carefully just kind of rock it back and forth, and there we have a design on there. You can see that. It's so bright. And I'm just going to switch it to a different direction, do it again, switch it back to the other direction, and do it a third time. Oops, that one didn't quite, a little bit. Okay, then we're going to go back and take this tool and go in and straighten that out. And there we go. Now we have that design on there. And then I'm going to also then do this down, let's see, I think I need a different one to do on the bridle part. I don't like that one. Hang on. Sorry, I didn't think this out. It was a last minute thing I decided I was going to go ahead and do a live video. So let's see here. Alright, this is just a little tool. I think this is small enough that this could go right here. Just to give us a little bit of a design on the way up on his bridle as well. There we go. And we're going to go back through. And then these designs will get repeated in areas on his other tack. Let's see. I'm almost thinking that I might do a little bit of a design. Well, you know what? I'll use these. I will use these designs in his other tack. The leather will have these different designs on them. Okay. So that pretty much is it. Although I'm not liking how this one right here looks, I'm going to flatten it out and do it again because I don't like it. Let's see what I can do here to fix this. And let's see. Okay, and then we're going to go in with our paintbrush, kind of clean everything up. Yeah, I'm not liking this. I'm really messed this up. I don't like that at all. Shoot. Here's what I'm going to do. Because this needs something in that crevice. It's making it fall down in there. I think I'm going to have to take this off and start over. Yep, there we go. All done. That's what happens sometimes. Because it's all falling down into this right here, and then it's making it where I can't put my design into it like I want. So we're going to do what we did to behind his belly, where I put in that little bit to fill in there, and we're going to put this in to fill in underneath here so that we don't have that happen again. And the same thing, you just, everybody says, I said this already in this video, always make sure that you just smooth the edges down really well so that things don't show through, and then also you don't have to sand as much. Everybody's like, oh, how do you get your edges so smooth? I just keep rubbing and rubbing, and I rub as hard as I can, and that's what I do because I don't want to have to do more work. So that doesn't stick up quite as high as his cheek in that here, so I'm going to go ahead with another little bit. Oh, and then I also have to go back in and fix the edge of this one because I messed it all up. It's going to get covered up pretty much, but still, I messed it up. So we're going to put a little bit more of this down. Make sure we have enough support for that piece on his neck, his throat when it comes through there. It's a pretty long process to keep going back and forth, but I get a good amount done every time I do this. I would have this whole side darn near done by now if I wasn't videoing and telling everybody what I was doing. So, okay, that's going to support that underneath there now. Pretty good. Okay, I think I like that. Okay, now, all right, you see how I got that there? Okay, I'm going to set him aside again. We're going to take our plastic. We're going to make another noodle, worm, whatever you want to call it. We're going to get talc on both sides. And we're going to use our rolling pin, our dowel. Alright, that looks pretty good. Get our guy back up here. And we're going to measure what we need. Looks pretty good. I think I'm going to go a tad narrower, just like we did last time. So we're going to come back. We're going to lay it down. We're going to use our pizza cutter. And we're just going to take a little bit off the edge again. Alrighty. Move this out of the way. Alright. Now, we're going to kind of lay this down and look at it again. See what we think. Perfect. Okay. Right there it's going to go. Let's put a little bit of alcohol on the back so that it sticks because of that talc on there. Again. Run it down the sides to smooth it. And we're going to lay it right there. It's going to come up here. And we're going to pinch it off. Going to use one of our sharp ones to cut that edge off, like that. Then we are going to split this, because that's what the real carousel horse that we are modeling after it's a split in his leather right here, so that's what we're going to do. And we're just going to pull that side over. And that's probably pretty good. I'll probably need to pull them both over. I just need to open that space pretty much. I'm going to move that one over a little bit. And I'll use my Q-tip with some alcohol on it. And let's see. I got too much alcohol on there and I can't see what I'm doing. So, get those little chunks out of his mane. And then make sure I got that edge cleaned up. And then my plan is, like I said when I did this the first time, that I'm going to remove the mane that's right here and right here, so that this can come right up over, and then this hair will stay. So that's going to get fixed here after this is all good and dry, and then I can just join these two pieces over his neck. And I think I'm going to do something different this time. I think I'm just going to use this same, well, actually, I think I'm going to put this flowered one at the top, because I'm looking at the actual horse that I'm doing, and it has this flower at the top here, just like that. Just press it in. And make sure that that's all stays where I want it. I'm pressing that in. Okay. And then from there, I think I will go ahead and just do a slight, tiny stripe that's going to end up down the side. And now, because I built up on where his cheek is, now it's not crunching over, so that's good. I'm just going to do that right along this edge as well. And there we go. And then we're just going to lift this up. Go back in. I have to figure out what I'm going to use for a bit on him as well. That's going to go, this is a little cutter thing. I can just kind of make that right there, where the bit's going to sit. Get that figured out. And there we go. So he got his bridle, this side to his bridle, and his saddle pad is on. And next time we'll hopefully show you putting his saddle on. I'll work on his breast collar and things, and I'll catch you guys next time. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed it. Please comment and let me know what you would like to see me do next. Alrighty? Okay. Well, thank you guys very much. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a long one.